Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Hollywood After Dark. Today, of course, is the 15th of March, 2022. I've got 11 days left to the big 4-0. I am freaking out, but you know what? I'm putting all that aside here tonight to come talk with you guys about the massive weight of unbearable talent rocking the reviews. Miss Marvel dropping a trailer, Puss in Boots 2. And is Mace Windu still alive? All of that tonight and more here, Hollywood After Dark, folks. Let's fucking go. Hey, what's going on, everyone? How y'all doing? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the late night movie experience here on the YouTubes. The one place to get very horrible jokes with grade A movie commentary. It's kind of a weird place to be. It's a weird place to hang your hat. Even the live streams have been growing. The VOD watching has been growing, and I'm eternally thankful. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening to me wax philosophical about current events, my thoughts on things, and of course, as many probable cum jokes as I possibly can, to keep it fresh, to keep it interesting, to keep it engaging, and to, of course, keep it Hollywood After Dark. But we will probably just let you guys know, this is something that I've been working on for a little bit here, talking about moving on to do something a little bit extra, a little bit special for the channel members, because I gotta find a way to really show you guys. So there will probably be an after show that will be coming in the next maybe couple weeks or whatever. I have a name. I'm not going to announce it yet, but I think it's funny. I think it fits. I think it works. I'm just going to format it out. So there is that right there. That being said, let's kick off the shilling, because that's what I do here. Of course, we've got Podio Commentary, youtube.com/Podio Commentary, where just recently I spent 43 minutes talking about Encanto. Before that, The Batman, then Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and even Extraction. But to keep it on the current Netflix level, because this is where some of the newer stuff is coming out from. This week, I'm going to be talking all about The Adam Project. This is one that I haven't seen yet, but everyone keeps telling me it's going to make me cry. It's going to make me weep. It's going to make me really question my entire relationship with my father. And of course, maybe my own relationship with my kids. This is what I'm looking forward to diving into. So I'll be watching that this week and then doing an in-depth talk through, of course, later on this week. youtube.com/Podio Commentary. Again, anywhere you get your podcasts, you can find it. iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, other places. Anchor, that's one of them, right? There's Spotify. That's the little known one no one ever talks about, right? Joe Rogan, I'm coming for you, buddy. Not really. But I would like the $100 million. I will be absolutely upfront on that one. But youtube.com/Podio Commentary if you want to get it here on this platform. Of course, there are other ways to get it. And then if you really like what I do here, if you come here every night, you enjoy it, and you want to help out, patreon.com/Matt Jarbo. Great way to do that. Great way to support the channel. Support me specifically. It's not really about the product. It's me. And I'm worth it, God damn it. No, I'm kidding. But patreon.com/Matt Jarbo, great way to help support the channel. Support me doing this most nights. And again, you guys are pretty great regardless. I appreciate you being here. But there we go on that. There's my shilling, folks. That is my pitch meeting out of the way. Hans here dropping a quick one saying, no, this is Jizz over Hollywood. That, of course, is some things that do pop up here only on the Jizz Network. Jizz is it's an acronym for Jarbo's Intimate Zesty Zings. Remember, folks, you can only get your Jizz here. Since Max Rebo is missing, we don't know where Max Rebo is. And of course, that's going to be a thing. But we got that there. Thank you very much, Hans, for dropping that out. I did see a comment here real quick. Christopher Barker says, Book of Boba Fett sucked. Kenobi will be no different. That is a fallacy. All right. Out of the 7 episodes, only like 3 of them sucked. And not even 3, really 2, really only 1. Really only 1 sucked. And the rest were pretty good. So most of them were actually pretty damn decent. Were pretty amazing. You know what I mean? It had some flubs along the way, but I would disagree that it sucked. I think watch it again in its entire context, sir. I think you'll be a lot happier there. H-Bars here says, I'm Joaquin Napoleon now. You know, for the person who is probably the most prolific executive producer for this particular channel, I I have to kind of laugh because he changes his identity pretty often. All right, the watcher here voicing a complaint says, hey, if you don't like me anymore and want me not to come around anymore, I won't, but you didn't have to call me out and insult me. All I said was peace out the chat because I had to leave. Well, okay. Watcher, we were giving you a hard time last night. That is true. I don't mean to think like I'm not calling you out specifically. We do go off on tangents here every once in a while. We go off on tangents. We go into very adult areas. This is a show called Hollywood After Dark. I mean, I literally jokingly made a network called the Jizz Network. Obviously, it's meant to be hyperbolic. It's meant to be over the top. And it feels like almost every time we joke about something sexual here, you always come in and say, peace out, chat. And, or you like move it along or something like that. So again, if you feel like if you're not into that kind of commentary, that's fine. And that's kind of what we were thinking about is that's what it was. So if it's not that, then my bad, it's all, and my apologies for the miscommunication. It just kind of feels like every time we dive into it, every time we run off into a very kind of like 25-minute segment that is very, very, very not safe for work. You always kind of have something to say at that point, if like you're leaving or move on. So that's all. If it's just you're bailing out because you have to leave, that's cool, man. It just kind of seems to be at those specific times. And again, nothing about it. It's definitely not to be mean. So I apologize for that. That's definitely, well, if you're turned, okay, yeah, okay, that's fine. All right, that's fine. You're turned off by it, and that's just you. That's great. So but again, it's kind of like when you say that you're, you don't let us know that you're turned off by it. We kind of can tell that you're turned off by it, but you don't ever say anything else other than I'm leaving. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like we kind of figure that we're just giving you a little bit of a hard time over it. That's really all it is, man. That's all it is. Don't worry, tonight, there won't be any long tangents. I've been awake since 6 a.m. I'm exhausted. I have a lot to get through tonight. So I don't think, who knows what I might say. But obviously, I think it's going to be okay here. But the majority of the chat enjoys the jokes. So, but then again, my sense of humor is not for everybody. My cup of tea is not for everybody, and I completely acknowledge that. Okay, you said you're not turned off by it. Well, how the fuck am I supposed to know that you're not leaving in jest? I don't know. Like I need some, dude, maybe I am slightly on the spectrum. I have trouble with social cues every once in a while. You got to drop those emojis, buddy. Give me a smiley face. Give me an LOL. Give me a wink. Give me something. Let me know what you're thinking. If there's a little bit of a joke by it, if you're leaving in jest, then you got to tell me. Otherwise, I didn't know. I had no idea. All right. Now I know. Now I know that when you say that, you're joking. Okay, cool. But like if you just throw some emojis out there, emojis are good. Unless you're a guy who sends the eggplant water squirt emoji to exceptionally muscular women on Twitter, absolutely unsolicited. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. But otherwise, if you want to throw an eggplant water squirt emoji at me, I will be flattered. I'm just putting that out there. So there's all that. Anyway, why don't we dive literally into it today? There's so much to talk about here. So first up, let's talk about the Batman, as if we haven't talked about the Batman enough. So over here, you have Luis Fernando, who is, he covers the box office, right? And he's talking about the Batman. It says here that the Batman is going to be leggy, grossing an estimated $6.4 million on its second Monday, dropping only 41% from last week, comparing it to Captain Marvel, which had a 53% drop during its second week. And right now, the Batman is sitting at a $245 million cumulative here in the United States. It's the second biggest ever movie or ever Monday for March, and currently eyeing a $390 to $410 million U.S. run. Now, a lot of people have been talking about this. A lot of people have been speculating. Is this movie going to crack a bill? Is this movie going to be able to actually cross over the billion-dollar status when we haven't seen a Batman movie hit $1 billion in literally 10 years? And that was on its third outing of that past trilogy. China is a big factor here, right? China is something that a lot of people are going to be waiting for. China might be a bit of a problem because I hate to break it to you guys, the Batman is heading into a weak opening amid the COVID outbreak and cinema closures in China. Now, this is something that I really definitely did not want to dive into too much tonight. However, here's the thing is I know like this week here in Washington, yesterday specifically, mask mandates lifted for most places. I think everywhere outside of like medical facilities really is all out there, right? Well, what we've got, unfortunately, is a situation now where we're probably in the next 3-4 weeks looking at getting hit with another massive spike of cases. I don't know if that means things are going to close down. I don't know if people are going to stay home. I don't know. What I do know is that according to the data, it's looking like we're going to see another outbreak, another surge, another spike of, it could be Omicron, it could be new variant. I'm not too sure yet. I don't know what's going to happen here, but we are seeing this happen in China. We are seeing spikes in Iceland. We're seeing spikes in the UK. And usually here, we follow whatever happens in the UK by about 4 to 6 weeks. Something there to consider for whatever your summer and later spring plans are for going to the cinema. But the Batman here might be having that problem. Let's see, also says here that amid fraught geopolitics, virus-related challenges, Hollywood studio films are earning a fraction of past China grosses. Now, that's not to say that the Batman is kind of a unique beast in this. It's not really a unicorn. And the reason why is China has been very, very, very much trying to like cut itself off from the West in regards to pop culture. They're trying to, they're bringing in fewer and fewer movies from the West into China. The Batman makes a lot of sense because Xi Jinping is trying to, Xi Jinping is trying to create this new like masculine Chinese base. He really is. He's trying to create this new masculine Chinese base. No sissy boys, no effeminate men. That's not what he wants. What he wants are trained, regimented, educated soldiers. So why not, show them the Batman, right? If you want to talk about like the ultimate idea of like, masculinity type shit, this could kind of work. This is going to be like, I'm saying this might just be pro-China propaganda to some extent. I'm kidding a little bit there. Now it says here that approximately 30% of all Chinese theaters are going to be temporarily closed. They have been temporarily closed. According to exhibition industry consultancy Artisan Gateway, the region's hardest hit include major population centers like Shanghai and Shenzhen. Now, locally transmitted COVID cases rose on Tuesday by more than 5,000 new infections nationwide. While low by Western standards, the current outbreak represents China's largest caseload since the pandemic first emerged in Wuhan in 2020. We are like 2 years and a week into this goddamn thing. 2 years and a week. That is nuts. Local officials are scrambling to maintain their COVID zero policy of total eradication of the virus, resorting to their usual playbook of mass mandatory testing and the total shutdown of cities, compromising tens of millions of residents. If Beijing leaders failed to get a hand on the infection surge soon, economists warn that China's growing response could result in major supply chain snarls in the world's manufacturing base, further jeopardizing global economic recovery. And with inflation being a thing right now and everything else, man, welcome to the fucking end times, it feels like. Don't worry, folks. I'm not going to be completely dire. I'm not going to be entirely pithy this particular day. These things happen. All right. Like these things happen. Obviously, with 7.5 billion people in the world, and a lot of people out there really aren't going to be paying a lot of attention to A lot of this other, I mean, here in the States, man, when it hits, it's going to hit big again. That's why they're talking about a fourth booster. That's why they're talking about getting more. And I know people out there don't want to get that, but I feel like ultimately this is kind of where we are right now. Now, James here says we need to stop depending on China. Well, I agree with you. But Chinese manufacturing has always been a thing. And so it's something that we do rely on at this point in time. I mean, movies obviously cannot rely on China anymore. Obviously, Spider-Man No Way Home has proven that. But you know what? They've also got to find a way to start managing some of the budgets of these films and really bringing them down. Anthony here says America definitely isn't closing down again. I mean, no, I don't think so. And that could be kind of bad. Spherical Man here says we've been living in the end time since Y2K. Kind of feels like that, hasn't 22 years now since Y2K. Kind of odd where things are, kind of odd what's happened, right? 22 years. That's where we find ourselves. That being said, sorry, Music Man here says, I'll take the shot. I'll take it in the ass and dick if you let me. Well, I mean, sure. If somehow a COVID vaccine suppository ends up being the most effective way to protect yourself from the virus, then perhaps. Jess here with a very hot take that says we need mandatory vaccinations, no more of this anti-vax bullshit. Hey man, like, look, I'm kind of there with you, to be fair. All right. I'm not like, I understand there are people out there who have medical conditions that do not allow them for it. That's something I'm okay with that. But when people are like, my religion, exams, fuck that shit. Like, no, it doesn't. Shut up. At no point in time would your God ever say, don't get the jab. Don't protect if you are a God-fearing Christian, trying to use that as an excuse to not get a vaccine is really dumb. It is. It goes against every tenet of Christ. But then again, I don't want to dive too into that. This isn't Boulder Talk Radio. This is Hollywood After Dark. So we dive a little bit into politics, but we try to keep it on the up and up here. So why don't we watch something that I'm actually really excited for? This is a trailer that dropped today. Maybe I'm the only one. I don't know. But looking here at the Puss in Boots, if I could say it correctly, Puss in Boots 2. The Puss in Boots. I can't even say it right. Puss in Boots. Sorry, watcher. I might be saying puss a little bit too heavily there. I'm just kidding, buddy. All right. So this is the trailer for Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I'm hyped for this. For one, the last Puss in Boots movie was the last theatrically. Jesus, I can't even talk today. Theatrically released film in the Shrek series. It came out a year and a half, roughly, after Shrek Forever After. And then here it is, 11 years after that, and we're getting another Puss in Boots movie. It's very weird that we're getting it. But here's the trailer, and I gotta say, guys, I think this is pretty top-notch.
I am known by many names. The Stabby Tabby, El Macho Gato, the Leche Whisperer. I am Puss in Boots. Holy frijoles. You, lunch me. And the rest of you, play double time. Hey, Giant! Hey, you want to see something cool? Gracias, you've been great! Get home safely! Good night! You're still here? Okay. One more number. I call this one, The Legend Will Never Die.
Ooh.
I have bad news. You died. Doctor. Relax! I am Puss in Boots! I have 9 lives. And how many times have you died already? I am not really a math guy. Hola, señorita. Do you like gazpacho? Does this have shellfish in it? A cat always lands on his feet. Watch! Watch! And then there was the giant today. So what is that, like, a 4? That makes 8, Puss. What do you wish to do with your last life?
When you only have one life, that's what makes it special.
Drive, perro! Fear me if you dare. Goldilocks and the Three Bears crime family.
You're supposed to be dead.
It never fails. Whenever I team up with you, things go wrong.
Trust me.
You gotta trust him. Look at those eyes. You call that cute? And with the paws, it's all so cute. Am I doing it? Stop. You're gonna give yourself a hernia.
Yes, Puss in Boots. So here's the thing, guys. I know I don't think I'm the only one that's excited for this. I see some people in the chat, very, very happy with it, talking about how much they enjoy it. Look, I'm saying I've been a big fan of the Shrek franchise for well over 20 years now. Continuing it in any way that they can is something that I'm just excited for. What I did notice while I was prepping tonight's show was I took a look on Twitter, which is always a bad idea, but I started taking a look on Twitter. And I saw that Shrek 5 was trending. And I was like, why is Shrek 5 trending? And there was a whole bunch of people that were pissed off that this trailer did not have or was not for Shrek 5. They were pissed off that that they're getting a Puss in Boots movie and it's not Shrek 5. Now, look, I can kind of understand that because, Shrek 1, Shrek 2, Shrek 4 were good. Shrek 3 it gets better the more you watch it. It's like the weakest one in the franchise. But the Puss in Boots movie is interesting. It wasn't the greatest thing I've ever seen. It was fun. It was entertaining. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like, it wasn't Shrek. It wasn't Donkey. It wasn't Fiona. It wasn't the gang, So I can understand why they took a little bit of time to get there, but I don't know. This looks great. Like, I want to see this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Hans here says, of course they're pissed off. They're always pissed off. Oh, dude. That is everybody. That is absolutely everybody. They got the original cast back. Is Shrek, Fiona, and Donkey in this one? Right? Like, I don't know, man. That didn't even sound like Penelope Cruz. That sounded like Salma Hayek as the voice of the other cat there. Could be wrong. I would hope, Reed, that Shrek makes a cameo. A Spherical Man here does make a great point. They might be using this to gauge if there's still interest in the Shrek franchise. Well, I mentioned this the other day, Spherical Man. I was looking around on Netflix's top 10 and their movie section last week, and Shrek 1 and Shrek 2 were right there in the center, like 4 and 5. I think it was Shrek 2 and then Shrek 1. So on Netflix, even the first two Shreks were still popping off in the middle of the week. So the movies are popular. They're still getting watched. I would hope that they would find a way to bring it back in some way or another. But I also don't quite know what they're going to do with it. Here's a question for you guys. Would you rather there be a Shrek 5 or a Shrek animated series, like a limited series that brought back everybody? I think that'd be okay. Let's see. Hans here says, Shrek makes a cameo to announce Shrek 5, calling it now. Well, you know what, Hans? It's immortalized on the internet. It's absolutely immortalized. We're going to know about that. So obviously, that is something that I think a lot of people are going to be curious about as well. But here's something, folks, that other people, again, myself included, very, very, very curious about. Over here on the Rotten Tomatoes, which of course is something that, take with a grain of salt. It's for entertainment purposes only. It's kind of like astrology in that way. It's like psychics, tarot reading, all that shit, right? Scientology, religion in general. Entertainment purposes only. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. This is like probably the one Nicolas Cage movie that I have been very, very, very excited for since I first saw the trailer for The Wicker Man. The trailer for The Wicker Man, not the actual movie. All right, but I really wanted to see that movie, and I still like it, whatever. But this one looks amazing to me. The trailer, we watched it the other night here. Everyone loved it. Everyone was raving about it. The movie has been shown, at South by Southwest. It's currently rocking a 100%, Rotten Tomatoes score based upon 17 reviews. And that's not many, that's definitely not many, but it definitely shows you that there are a lot of people out there who went to South by Southwest who seem to enjoy it, who definitely, we're on board for the unbearable weight of massive talent. Again, if you've seen the trailer, you know what I'm talking about here. But I did come across something today that I found to be really interesting in regards to this, right? Because I mean, look right here, it's all positive. It's basically all just trying to say that Nick Cage is the shit. And if you've seen the trailer, it does look like that. But here's what I came across today on the most unlikely of websites. It was a very interesting op-ed over on Giant Freaking Robot that is literally titled, "The first reactions to the new Nicolas Cage movie are overwhelmingly one-sided." So somebody is this guy named, what's his name here? His name is Micheline Martin, is not happy, at least according to the title here. The title could be whatever, but he's not really digging that the movie played early at South by Southwest and that certain critics were able to see it. This article reads to me like a very jealous individual. Because like it says here, most of us aren't going to be able to see Nicolas Cage play a fictionalized version of himself in The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent until the film hits theaters in April. But as per usual, the critics have gotten to see the flick, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of disagreement. According to just about every reviewer out there, the unbearable weight that Cage suffers from is starring in possibly the best film of 2022. So, look, man, I know what it's like to like want to see something early and like not get the invite, not get the link. I get that. It happens. But I just find this to be really funny that like this guy, basically wanted to summarize what people were saying about it and then complain by going like, well, like, we weren't there. Now, Giant Freaking Robot is probably upset as an outlet. Taylor here with a great pun. So the author is being a bit cagey, which is true, which is very true. But I think one of the things here to consider is that when you look at this whole situation, this movie, is one that's kind of built for South by Southwest. They show a lot of more of the crazier films there. It's like the more like fan favorite-y stuff. And this movie will be out in theaters very soon, and like I said just before with Batman in China and COVID, it's entirely possible that a spike in the United States would then pull it out of theaters faster, which would then get it on VOD faster. So if that gets on VOD faster, then, hey, you get to see it faster. But either way, this is one that I'm going to rush out to go see in theaters. Absolutely. It looks like a lot of fun. And it looks like it's worth that. It might actually be one of the more perfect films of 2022. But look, here's the thing. Nothing is ever perfect. Nothing is ever 100%. Obviously, the more people who see it, the more diluted of a pool you're going to have. And when that happens, you're going to get more of kind of a varied opinion of it. Last night, we were looking at the Halo Rotten Tomatoes score. At the time, it had 57% and was considered rotten based upon only like 14 reviews. And I was talking with Anthony Beltray, who was here, and I said that number is probably going to go down. It's most likely going to go down. Here's the thing, guys. It didn't go down. It actually went up today. It's up to over 60% now. It's like at 60%. As more and more people are watching the Halo series and giving it generally favorable reviews, I was wrong, and I can admit that I'm wrong. See, that's kind of the difference between me and other people. All right. I can at least tell you assholes when I'm wrong. It's rare because I'm amazing. Even I don't believe that. Let's see. Taylor here says, Matt has sex jokes. I do puns. Well, there you go, man. There you go. But this is one I'm really, really, really excited for. I cannot wait to see this thing when it comes out. Obviously, I think it's going to be one of the more fun films of the year. I don't know how great it's going to be, but Nicolas Cage did actually, believe it or not, turn this movie down 4 times before he agreed to do it. And you know what? I think we're all going to be for the better on this one. But all right, why don't we keep the party a-rolling here? Because there's a couple Star Wars things to quickly talk about tonight. So we'll jump over here to the direct.com that's giving us perhaps maybe a little bit of an update surrounding when we're finally going to see Andor. My God, this show is done. I mean, the first season is done. It's edited. They're planning season 2 to start filming later on this year. We haven't even gotten a trailer. We just got that sizzle reel from the Disney Investor Day from 2020, over a year ago. And we might actually be getting something new here pretty soon. So it says that given the nature of Kenobi, the popularity of the Mandoverse, Star Wars Andor has largely flown under the radar. Announced in late 2018, the series will be the first spy thriller in the galaxy far, far away, with Diego Luna reprising his role of Cassian Andor from Rogue One. Several other familiar faces from the spin-off film are reportedly returning as well, including director Krennic and Saw Gerrera. I'm actually really excited for both Forrest Whitaker and Ben Mendelsohn to come back. I really enjoy that. So it says here that with such a packed state for 2022, there's been significant amount of discussion regarding Lucasfilm's plans for the series release. Disney announced that Andor would be dropping at some point in Q4, which spans the summer months of the year. The project will span 12 episodes for its first season, with a budget and production more akin to feature films with the number of practical sets constructed, and they built a lot. So what we're looking at here potentially is sometime in maybe the summer, sometime potentially, I would argue probably more around like Labor Day versus anything else. Because if, Kenobi drops at the end of May, right? It drops the 25th, I believe, and it's going to be coming out the same weekend as Star Wars Celebration on Memorial Day. It's going to go for 6 episodes. It's actually, believe it or not, Miss Marvel and Obi-Wan are going to have like the same day premiere. I think that's going to change, to be honest with you. I think given how these shows do in the Nielsen ratings, everything's going to change. But there's a lot there that we're going to get out of this. And I'm excited to see where it goes, to be honest with you. But keeping in line with Star Wars, there's another little rumor that popped up. Not even a rumor, sorry. This is a statement. And I'm telling you, this is one of those things, guys, where I'm not too sure how I feel about this, because I'm kind of okay with this happening, right? I'm okay with Mace Windu being dead is what I want to say. Sorry. Got distracted by the chat. Cam here correcting me. Just want to make sure I get this right. Cam correcting me. Obi-Wan and Miss Marvel are set to overlap for 4 weeks. That seems like it's a bit much. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, that's going to be a bit on the rough side. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. They're going to probably find a way to fix it. But anyway, Lord Slugger says, keep Mace dead. Well, if Sam Jackson has anything to do with it, if he has anything to say, he might get the final word on whether or not Mace Windu returns from the grave. But hey, it could be, look, let's be fair. If Mace Windu returned from the grave, it would be cooler than the Emperor. All right. Shifty Gizm here says, Mace saved Grogu. Betcha. Probably. But this is what's going on here. So, Sam Jackson sat down for a guest spot on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, in which he talked about his potential Star Wars return as Mace Windu. When asked if fans should hold out hope for a Mace Windu comeback, Jackson boldly admitted that he wants to reprise his role as the famous Jedi Master. The Marvel and Star Wars veteran revealed that he told Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett director Bryce Dallas Howard about his desire to return. And here's how the conversation played out. Horowitz says, should I hold out hope at this point for Mace? Jackson, definitely. There's a huge story of people with one hand returning in Star Wars. The only person I've ever said that to about coming back was Bryce Dallas Howard, because I just did a movie with her, and she directs episodes of The Mandalorian. So you think you might be able to hook a brother up? I mean, you like me, right? She's like, I love you. You're amazing. So put me back in there. Put me in, coach. I'm ready. I'll learn to lightsaber left-handed. Come on, hook me up. Now, obviously, this is something that's being met with a little bit of controversy, mostly because, he's been dead since 2005. So it's been 17 years. Mace Windu has been dead. But there's been a lot of return from the dead characters on Star Wars. And fans seem to be okay with the vast majority of that, right? Fans seem to be very much okay with all of that being a thing, because why not? Oh, Darth Maul came back, got a whole new character arc in Clone Wars and Rebels, even going as far as the pop-up in Solo, you know, as a cameo in there. So they were clearly setting the stage. Boba Fett was presumed dead. Now he got his own goddamn TV show. You know, I mean, like, it's not something that is out of the realm of possibility for current Disney Star Wars. It's not to say that I'm 100% like on board with it or that I'm 100% behind it. I feel he should stay dead. But if they were going to do it, would I be upset about it? You know, the answer to that is probably not. If they were to do it, I would definitely probably, you know, be like, I don't know. I'd have to wait and see sort of thing. You know, Simon here does make a good point. He says it took 14 years for Incredibles 2 to come back. Well, that's true. I would love to see Incredibles 3. I don't know if I wanted to take another 14 years, but yeah, I get your point. Tony here asks, why do people want Windu to still be alive? Shouldn't his death cheapen Anakin's turn? Well, I mean, Anakin thought he was dead, so it's all about perception, right? And keep in mind that Palpatine was manipulating Anakin's perception, right? So there's definitely that. But I think it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of dumb, right? It's kind of dumb. You know, now Dark Beast here says no body, not dead. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, look, man, you can make that argument all you want, but there's been plenty of people convicted on that alone. You know what? No body, and people have still been convicted for the murder. So something there to consider on that particular front. Why don't we keep this going real quick with probably the bigger trailer of the day? It's a tease. I wasn't expecting this. I was shocked this morning when it came out, but hey, I'm not going to complain. Miss Marvel finally graced the internet with a teaser trailer. And this is what I'm not going to lie, guys. I was kind of like, I was like, ooh, I don't know how to feel about this, guys. I was a little bit worried about this one because I'm like, oh my God, you know, like, they changed her powers, didn't they? People are going to get real mad about this, you know, but I was pleasantly surprised. I haven't seen anyone out there, threaten to blow up any mosques or nothing as a result of this. And so that's good. They seem to be kind of handling it okay. I'm pretty sure, like, I know RJ, big, you know, Kamala Khan fan, probably wasn't too happy about this. But listen, I mean, look, Cam here says, I love the trailer, but hate the change of her powers. Well, I mean, look, let's watch it and let's kind of talk about that. Like, let's talk about that a little bit here. Let me just make sure that I got the, I don't want 480p. I'm not a monster.
Okay, so first off, I just want to say, I get it.
You get what?
High school.
Kamala.
Another adventure shirt. Cute.
She thinks I'm some kind of weirdo.
You are a weirdo.
Boys.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
You're kind of on my shirt.
Sorry.
But you're staring at the window in your little fantasy land. Kamala, hey! Already? Really? Come on, like...
Do I have to figure out my whole future before lunch, or is there like... Maybe they're right. I spend too much time in Fantasyland.
That is not you.
It's not really the brown girls from Jersey City who save the world. That's a fantasy too.
Did something happen to you?
No, why? Did you hear something?
Kamala? What does it feel like?
Cosmic. I always thought I wanted this kind of life, but I never imagined any of this.
Do you even know what you are?
I'm a superhero.
All right. I think it looks good. I am definitely down for it. I know, man. I know a lot of people are kind of iffy on this. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, man. Look, I totally get it. Shiftyism here makes the point, and I made this kind of earlier today on Twitter as well. She's now the Marvel's Green Lantern. Kinda, effectively, yeah. Like those bracers, those bracelets, those rings, if you will. Kind of looks like the 10 rings, don't it? Makes me wonder if there's a connection. But that looks like it's going to be, part of the, yeah, it's kind of the Green Lantern stuff. I mean, but look, at the same time, man, there's, I guess the best way to describe it is, and to really kind of dive in, we have to look at the idea here of what it means to be an adaptation and what it means to be a comic book adaptation in modern times. Now, look, the money coming in from Disney and Marvel Studios to make these shows effectively like long form feature films, you figure that they would go all out and that they would give her the embiggen powers and they would give her everything that she can do in the comics and even in the the Marvel Avengers video game, where she's a main character in that. And I mean, like, in essence, it's kind of like, look, do we need more characters that can do stretchy stuff like Mr. Fantastic? No, not really. Not really. Especially considering that she wants to be like Captain Marvel. So allowing her to have the ability to kind of be like Captain Marvel on that front, as well as Maria Rambo. It's Monica Rambeau, right? Or which one is it? Monica or Maria? I forget which one Teyonah Parris is playing in WandaVision. Just Rambo is what I'll just say for right now. And then leading into the Marvels movie. I get it. From an adaptation standpoint, it makes sense. Now listen, from a canonical standpoint, I completely get everyone's complaints. And you have every right to feel the way that you feel. This particular story in my mind is looking at it like it's going to be another coming of age story. And I'm okay with that. Now granted, we just got done with Peter Parker in high school. So now going back into, Kamala Khan in Jersey City in high school seems a little bit on the weird side, right? Like at least with Kate Bishop, she was in college. You know what I mean? Like but you can tell they're bringing in these younger actors who are going to be able to fit in the role for quite some time. Now Cam here says, hold on, let me find that one here. How many characters have energy-based powers? It doesn't matter. How many characters are fucking speedsters over there on the Flash? That's my question, right? How many speedsters are there? There's always new speedsters, feels like. So energy-based powers, the ability to fly. How many people have the ability to fly, right? Like, why is it that Rogue, and again, this is just like what people were talking about with like bringing Rogue into the X-Men or bringing in Rogue into the Marvel Cinematic Universe and having her steal Captain Marvel's powers in order to gain the ability of flight. It's like, that's kind of taking cosmic energy. They're kind of saying that a lot of, look, going back to, like the what was it? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 2 with the Tardigan stuff. Like they couldn't do it like they did it in the comics. And a lot of that I think has to do with Ike Perlmutter, Jeff Loeb, and what's his nuts? Scott Buck and how they handled the Inhumans. And as a result of that, they don't need to focus on the Inhumans anymore. They can just make them like mutants, or they can find a way to give them their powers. And in these situations, adaptations, liberties with the characters are always going to happen. You are probably never, ever, ever going to get a 1-to-1 adaptation out there. And I know, again, that should be, a lot of people are going to be, are not happy with that. They don't want that. And I get that. And I'm right there with them for a little bit, but I also I'm okay with this. Now, McLeoder says, to quote Dane from Actual Fandom, if you're upset about changing Miss Marvel's powers and think it will ruin the character, then you don't know what character means. I saw that tweet earlier today. I disagreed with him on that take, because it's not like, if the character is the character, changing how the character got their powers does change elements of the character. Now, but if the creator of that character is on board with it, which I think they are, then that would be okay. But at the same time, like the company owns the character. So there's kind of like that. All right, let's see. Cameron says, well, if it was because there's too many stretchy powers, then it can't be because Miss Marvel and Mr. Fantastic are the only ones with elastic powers. It might be budget. It might also be because as they're getting ready to unveil the new Fantastic Four, they don't want to have another character with stretchy powers that people out there are going to be like, well, wait, hold on. We already saw this on Kamala Khan. Why are they just giving us another one like this? You know, whereas I think a lot of people out there would understand that the Mr. Fantastic ability, you know, obviously predates Kamala Khan by a long period of time, but Kamala Khan is coming to live action in the MCU first. And that is something to kind of think about there on that one. Jess here says, this is why I was pissed off with Disney by nerfing mutants and promoting Inhumans. Well, I mean, that was because Fox had the rights to them, right? That's kind of, that's the whole thing. Fox had the rights. We're talking about the ability, you know, we're talking about like corporate versus corporate and intellectual property rights. And like, as fans, we don't generally care a lot about that because we look at it more from the perspective of like, well, fuck, man, like, yeah, like why would we give a shit sort of thing? Like we just want the story, but there's always going to be powers at play. There's always gonna be things like this. Dark Beast says Disney didn't do that. It was Perlmutter. Well, Perlmutter runs Marvel, but you know, still it's owned by Disney. So Disney, you know, and then, yeah, there was also a lot there with Perlmutter. I think Perlmutter like completely neutered like, didn't they kill off the Fantastic Four at one point in time before like one of the movies came out or something like that? There was a thing. H Bart's here says blame Ike Perlmutter for no Inhumans. Yep. Yeah. The Perlmutter days of Marvel is bad, but we're past that now. But there's ramifications and there's repercussions. And that unfortunately is where this whole scenario plays out. So why don't we look again, this comes out June 8th. I'm excited to see this. I want to see where it's going to go. We'll have to see. We'll have to absolutely see what happens with this. So why don't we talk finally tonight about this piece of information right here? Because look, man, I like to talk about, you know, like movies. I like to talk about mergers. I like to talk about what might be happening. You know, there's things that might be happening here in regards to everything. And this was something that popped up today. AT&T names Samuel D. Piazza chairman of Warner Brothers Discovery. Now you got to keep in mind, that's not president and CEO. That is chairman. That's I think president and CEO, isn't CEO's like chief executive officer. Is that chairman of the board? I don't, you know what? Maybe my hold on. I'm going to Google this real quick. Okay. Chairman of the board and CEO, same thing. Let me just I don't think they're the same thing. All right. The chairman is the leader of the company's board. The public often regards the chief executive officer as the highest position of power within an organization because they run the company's operational structure and are in charge of every other executive. They're the core manager of a corporation. Okay. So, they're not the same thing. They're not the same thing at all. But a lot of people out there don't understand what in the ever-loving ass this means. And of course, look, you know who I'm talking about, guys. I don't got to name him. We've talked about him enough. We've handed him enough L's. You know what I mean? But like, you know what they're going to say. You know how they're going to act. So let's take a look here at the actual thing. Because a lot of people out there don't understand what's going on. All right? And again, there's a lot of words here that I don't quite understand. A lot of companies I've never heard of before, but we're going to get an idea of everything. So it says here, Samuel D. Piazza Jr. will serve as chairman of Warner Brothers Discovery following the close of the deal to combine the two companies. D. Piazza, the previously global CEO of PricewaterhouseCoopers. The hell kind of name is that? From 2002 to 2009, spent 36 years working at that company. He was among the 7 board members of the combined Warner Media Discovery that AT&T announced on Tuesday. The Warner Brothers Discovery Board of Directors will initially comprise 13 members, 7 appointed by AT&T and 6 by Discovery. So the 7 directors appointed by AT&T are these people right here. Now you might notice that Jason Kilar and Sarnoff And Toby Emmerich and Walter Hamada are not listed in this particular board of directors announcement. Because why the fuck would they? This is not anything to do with that, right? This isn't anything to do with that at all. Now, going on here, it says that Discovery's designated board members for the new entity, as previously announced, are Zaslav, who is set to become president and CEO, Robert Bennett, managing. Okay. Oh, sorry. Here's where the other part where those people, Emmerich, Sarnoff, Hamada, Keelar, aren't mentioned either. It says here that Robert Bennett will become managing director of investment. John Malone, again, these guys are going to all kind of join in. These are like part of the new, these are part of the board members. I'm kind of like losing my place here. What I'm talking about here, though, is that the board is not the people that are overseeing the individual departments. And a lot of people in the whole issue, the whole Snyder Cut stuff, they have today flat out been running around saying Ann Sarnoff is out of a job. They're all gone. Well, I hate to fucking break it to them. Let's take a look here. Let's just bring up the Warner Media leadership. Now, this will change. Don't get me wrong. But you have to understand is that what AT&T did is it spun off Warner Brothers. Now, actually, not Warner Brothers. It spun off Warner Media into Warner Brothers Discovery. That's the spinoff. It's the combining of the two companies of Discovery and Warner Brothers to Warner Brothers Discovery. But the sub-departments are still going to be there, right? The sub-departments are still going to be there. So, thing to consider. Just looking at and this is weird, right? This is their leadership team, but like all of their images are blacked out until you run over them. So, all right, you've got Jason Keelar, who is the CEO of Warner Media. Now, he is rumored to be leaving, which makes the most amount of sense because his job kind of becomes a little bit redundant once Warner Media and Discovery become something. Now, it could be that Zaslav oversees everything, and then they still need someone to kind of handle Warner Media, that side of it, Warner Brothers, that side of things. So for right now, Keelar could still be retaining his gig in a reduced capacity until they're able to fill it with somebody else who they want. But look at here. Look at everyone else here. You got Jennifer Burry, James Cummings, who's Cummings, Executive Vice President, Chief Human Resources Officer, Andy Forcell, EVP General Manager, HBO Max, right? Like, you got all those other people here, right? President, Warner Media International, Richard. I mean, look, all this stuff. But here's Ann Sarnoff. Okay, so Ann Sarnoff is the chair and CEO of Warner Media Studios and Networks Group. Now, that's Warner Media Studios and Networks Group. Okay, just keep that in mind. Warner Media Studios. Jason Keelar here is CEO of Warner Media. So Warner Media Studios is a spinoff of that. It's a subsidiary. It's a sub company. It's not the damn same thing. Now, will she be losing her job? Yeah, I kind of see that happening. All right, I kind of see that happening. But at the same time, the way I look at it is she's not losing, she's not being fired right away or in that announcement that everyone wants to run up on, everyone wants to talk about, Spherical Man here says, but Matt, they're going to kick everyone out to the curb day one. I know, I've been hearing that too. I've been hearing that too. I got messages today about apparently a new 6-film contract that is going to be happening with a certain, Superman character. Okay. That's when I'll believe when I see. But for right now, a lot of people are jumping to conclusions about exactly who was fired and what this means. And obviously it doesn't mean that. Obviously it doesn't mean what people out there want it to mean. They're just, the board of directors oversees like the high end stuff of things, not like the nitty gritty day to day kind of stuff. You report to the people, they report to the board makes decisions, things like that. It just goes to show you when you talk about a lot of these situations and a lot of these people, they don't understand business. Lord Slakier says, get ready for that delicious crow, Jarbo, the Snyderverse will live on. Hey man, I'm willing to eat it. I've been very open about that. I've been very open about that whole thing about that. That's not a problem. I've absolutely been there. If it happens, I will gladly admit that I'm wrong. Because here's the thing: is like, as much as I don't believe that it's going to happen, I still want to see it happen. There's the difference there, my guy. There's the difference. So we'll have to wait and see where it goes, but that's ultimately where we find ourselves. So I know it's like they've never seen an org chart. I know they don't know anything. They don't know anything. It's just, I mean, and I don't know everything either, but like, you know, it's not hard to look at it and go, okay, I see. I can kind of see what's happening here. Let's see here. H-Bar says, I'll eat the crow. I'll have a heart attack if it happens. You're too young to have a heart attack, H-Barts. I'm a little older than you. I might, it might go after me first. So there's that. We'll have to wait and see. But all right, guys, that's all the stories I got for tonight. We can talk for a couple more minutes, round it out here, maybe give another 5-10 minutes of conversations before I call it a night. I want to get to bed a little early this evening. I am trying to wind down the show to fit about an hour and some change. It does help when I don't have friends on, because as much as the conversations, as fun as the conversations are, does take up a lot of time. So that's okay. That is okay. Now, Andrew here makes a good point. It says, from time to time, members of the board will spearhead specific initiatives from within a company. Like John Malone was taking a special interest in returning CNN into a news organization. Well, aren't they doing like CNN Plus right now? Right? Aren't they doing CNN Plus at the moment? I mean, that's kind of a thing. That's I don't know. I mean, is CNN even news anymore? I don't even know. Read here. No, I'm not going to watch that tonight, man. I'm not the part of the top 5 Marvel deaths. I really, cause that's again, 25-minute thing. Look, I'll be honest. Like when I'm talking about like the spinoff into the after show, like the main show will be the news of the day. The after show might watch things like that because I keep getting like content ID claims out the ass and some worldwide blocks. And I just gotta be careful about that. Because, you know, like I just gotta, to build this thing up, I have to play it a little bit smarter than I have been. But we will watch it at some point in time. Now, I did miss this one yesterday, Shiftygism. I thought I had it up. I didn't have it in my list. I thought I did. Lindelof potentially coming in for a Star Wars thing. Okay, I'll say this. So I feel that Lindelof has some ups and he has some downs. You know, I mean, he's done some good, he's done some bad, but Watchmen all the way through was really good. So, I mean, like, give it a shot. You never know. People can surprise you. People can surprise you sometimes, I guess. We'll have to wait on that one. Irrational here. Okay, Degrasse says, you're never too young for a heart attack. That is very true. Given how many energy drinks I consume, probably that's something I should look into. Rational here says, what if Emmerich and Hamada do get replaced? I think they will eventually. I don't think it's going to be a day one thing. All right. I don't think it's going to be a day one issue at all. I think what we're going to get is, like there's going to be a transition period and then that will be there. Lord Slug here says, not a single sexual discussion tonight, Jarbo. Come on. Hey man, maybe I'm slipping. Maybe I'll get more comments on the back end. Maybe I'll get more comments on the back end. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. I get one dude complaining about timestamps. Like, I'm keeping it short, dude. Just watch the goddamn thing. Let's see here. H-Bars asks, honestly, do you think the Snyder talk will still be going on in 2030? All right. So that's like 8 years from now. Zach will be 72 years old. Sorry, 62 years old. Yeah, probably still happening. Probably still going to happen at that point in time. Watchmen had a bad ending. The time element with Manhattan made no sense. I mean, it is what it is, dude. I think it was fine. It is that. All right. Rainbow here says, hey Matt, are you excited for Marvel shows, Daredevil and the Defenders and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Oh yeah, that's right. All coming to Disney Plus in just 83 minutes, folks. 83 minutes until they come. 83. I don't need 83 minutes to come. I only need about 5. I'm good. I'm a fast worker. There you go. There's your joke for the night. I'm excited for him. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know what I'm going to be able to sit down and watch him, but I'm excited for him. I like the fact that they're there. I like the fact that, we know that the universe, like that the universe is healing, right? We know that. It'll be interesting to see how the parents' TV council gets all butthurt over it. Like, why do you have parental controls on Disney? I don't know, because you know what? Disney isn't always good. Opinion on Warner Brothers casting an African American as John Constantine. Has that been confirmed? I know that's been a talk. That was like the J.J. Abrams thing, like Justice League Dark, right? I mean, like, I don't know. I have to see how it goes. I like the guy who plays it now. Matt, what's his name? Matt Ryan, I think is his name. So, Jess, you're asking, does Discovery know how to work the movie industry? No. Zaslav comes from TV. A lot of those guys come from TV. So, but that's the whole point of what they're doing is they're like, again, the whole point of merging Warner Brothers and Discovery is to have someone who understands the business side of things in a very regimented, penny pinching way. And that's Zaslav. Keelar is different. Keelar is like, let's just do shit. And like, you know what, like let the chips fall where they may and play the long game. And that was the problem with Keelar and the bold, the 2021 slate, the day and date stuff, because AT&T, like they don't know how to run it. They didn't know how to run an entertainment company. And Keelar, again, I think is going to be proven right. I've said this multiple times. So I think ultimately, like, that's kind of the thing with Keelar is like, he's going to, I think Zaslav is going to refer to him a bit more than we think. And I think Zaslav may not even look, I'm telling you guys right now. I mean, if Warner Brothers Discovery only lasts like 3 to 5 years before it is gutted once again, and the company is dissolved and the rights returned back to AT&T, it's just going to be a terrible thing. So there is that. All right. Did I hear about Adrian Paul, aka Duncan MacLeod of the Highlander show, now joining the growing list of out of work has-been actors bitching about PC cancel culture for attention? I mean, look, man, I'm a leftist. All right. But let's not deny the reality that shit is real. That the cancel culture, the PC stuff is real. I'm not saying that you need, that like everything they complain about is, like invalid. There's a lot that they can be valid about, but there's also a lot that they're not valid about. There's a lot of bullshit, and there's a lot of people out there that just get upset for really nothing. I deal with it all the time. I make a comment and people take it out of context, so they try to spin it in a certain way, or they eliminate context to give people a negative impression of me. And I've been pretty straightforward on all my shit. But I know what the cancel culture element is like. I've been canceled. I know what it's like. So that's kind of the way that I view it. The way that I view it is that it's kind of like, no, it exists. And some people out there are going to play it up to get work. Adrian Paul is probably hoping to get work with Ben Shapiro's company, but they're doing it for nefarious reasons. And again, that muddies the water. It's like every time like a far right wing celebrity does something stupid and gets canceled, and then they end up like getting support from their base financially. And then, they get work and whatever. Some idiot leftist comes out and retweets it and says, see, cancel culture doesn't exist, which is bullshit. Some people are more fluent than others. In Hollywood, where you have a protective circle around you practically at all times, in the entertainment sphere, politics, things like that, there are backup systems. There are support systems. The average everyday citizen does not have that, period. Point blank, full stop. Doesn't have it. So they don't have those protections. They don't have that affluency. They have none of it. They get canceled. And it's a legitimate cancellation. And it can follow them around for a long ass time. And because the way the internet operates, if people on the internet find out that you're trying to better your life, they might try to come at you with your old shit to strike you the fuck back down. As evidenced by all those people who were mad at me last week and we're digging up shit from 10 years ago, acting as if that's who the fuck I am, trying to cancel me. So no, cancel culture absolutely exists. It really does. Both sides are guilty of it, and both sides are bastards for using it. That's just the truth. So, all right. HWAD's here. It says, man, Gilded Age gets better with every week. I need to watch it still. Let's see here. Does anyone remember when ABC aired Saving Private Ryan unedited without interruption, and ABC was anticipating major complaints with the parents' television cancel, announced that they approved? Of course, because they like war. They like war. They like war. They like, it's patriotism. That's what it is. You're not going to argue with patriotism, are you? You can't come out and slight violence surrounding World War II. Our boys fighting against the axis of evil, trying to bring home a young Matt Damon. As a symbol of hope, as a symbol of survival. You can't smear that, dude. All right, let's see here. Have I watched Ghost Stories of Shimonetta yet? No, I haven't. I have not. When I get my PS5 eventually, then I'll be able to put in. Right now I've just got the I've got the Xbox Series S hooked up, so I don't have a DVD player hooked up in the room. All right. Now McLeoder says, how about we also stop denying that the only people who truly bitch about it is from the right and the right wing celebrity element that haven't had a job in decades. I mean, yeah, people on the left aren't going to say shit, but they can usually find something. And here's the thing, dude, people on the right, all they got to do, like literally all they got to do is just do a Christian movie. They'll make bank. And they work that circuit for a while to make bank. Movies are always getting made. Actually, right now, I'll tell you this. So I was, is it Zach Stentz who wrote like X-Men 2 and a bunch of other movies? I think his project now is Jurassic World, Camp Cretaceous on Netflix. He was talking with the guys who wrote Freddy versus Jason tonight, and they're talking about how no one in Hollywood right now, none of the executives, are buying any new scripts. Like there's just a slowdown right now of buying new material. So screenwriters are not getting a lot of paid work right now. And that's something that's, again, and then one of the comments was, oh, well, maybe Netflix just bought everything up so they don't have to do it for a bit. And that's an idea with the streaming wars and how they pay up front for everything with no royalties. That's a problem. That's a problem. These companies come on in, they buy it all up, and then they make it. Look at what Netflix is doing right now with how they're breaking up their shows. Like they ordered, 24 episodes of Vikings Valhalla, right? And they're releasing it in 8-episode chunks, and they're calling it season 1, season 2, season 3. And they ordered 24 episodes. So it's like they paid for it all, but it's just going to come out, over time and shit. And I'm telling you though, right now, Netflix will start going week to week in probably the next year or so. I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen at all. Oh, Zach Penn. Thank you. Thank you, Shifty. Yeah. I'm getting a little tired. I've been up since 6. I'm sleepy. Dury here says Max Landis is leftist and canceled. Max Landis is still active, Dury. He's still active. He has a YouTube channel called Up to My Knees, and he posts a lot of stuff on there, and he helps screenwriters, believe it or not. And I guarantee you that he's probably doing a fair amount of uncredited punch-up work on a lot of scripts. So I think that's what's going on with that. As he's doing a lot of uncredited work, but you can check him out. Shifty Gizmir says, it's a shame Landis got canceled. He had some great YouTube monologues on Man of Steel and pro wrestling. He still has them up. He still does them. I think he posted a new video yesterday. I'm subbed to him. I've been subbed for years. I forgot that I was, but no, he's still active. He's still very active. And, here's the thing with Max Landis. If Max Landis ever makes an attempt to come back into the spotlight, that's most likely going to end up, being some pushback from that. So he's going to be relegated to like a couple more years, and then he'll slowly work his way back in. So, John here says week to week means more ads you have to watch. I mean, if you're on Netflix, you're not watching any ads, but week to week is again, it is for the longevity of these shows. It is the most important thing. Yvonne here says we need Bright too. I'd like to get Bright too. I would like to get Bright too. Yeah. Ozymandias here asks, are JJ and Matt Reeves going to continue Cloverfield franchise with Warner Brothers or Paramount? It would definitely be with Paramount, because Paramount holds the rights, at least distribution rights. I don't know when that might expire. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. They did promise Cloverfield 4, which would be a direct sequel to the first Cloverfield. I don't know, guys. I do not know. Reed here. I had 4 biscuits for dinner today. All right. You do you, boo. There you go. Dalton here says, as long as Samuel Jackson is alive, all of his characters are alive. There you go. There you go. Yeah, there is the Blacklist, which, I've noticed that certain films that are coming out this year have actually been purchased. They were actually written and put on the Blacklist in like 2017, 2018. Like King Richard, it came out last year. That was written in 2017. So there's that. Yeah, so it takes some time, but right now we'll have to wait and see what's going on. It will be very interesting. But all right, guys, on that note, I am going to call it so I can go to bed and get a good night's sleep tonight. I will be back on tomorrow night talking about stuff. We'll see how it goes. Again, there will start being a members only after show, which will be going on probably most nights. And again, like any tier of membership gets you in. We'll be watching, Chud Watch will make an appearance there, because that's going to be more Chud Watch friendly content there. And again, something just for the members. So, that's the hustle. I'm just being honest. But we'll still do the show. That's going to be always free and always fun. I appreciate everyone coming in tonight. Thank you guys very, very, very much for hanging out with me. Be sure to like the video if you haven't already. Follow me on social media. Let me know what you think, and we'll talk again soon. Have a good night, everybody. And you know what? Peace the hell out.